up everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg. We are back for another day of Vlogmas, and today I am showing you how I did this makeup. I am so excited to share this look with you. I just wanted to play with color, do something with a graphic liner, and I just love how it turned out. So without further ado, let's roll into how I completed this look. I am starting off with my eyes and eye base. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. It's just the one that I've been using since it came out because I don't know of any other ones that have come out recently. So if you have an eye primer that you like, let me know in the comments down below. But I love using this to carve out my brows. And then I also like putting it on the inner corner because I do a lot of shadow work in my inner corner. And then I just, cover the area and pat it out with a sponge. I usually avoid getting the primer on my lower lash line because it tends to settle into my wrinkles. So I just basically have it go down to that inner corner and then I cover my entire lid. Whenever I'm doing a graphic liner look, I like taking a super thin brush and a very light brown eyeshadow and mapping out where I want this to be. So this wing is going to start in the outer corner. So I'm just kind of imagining if I were drawing it from the inner corner to the outer corner, and then I'm mapping out from my lash line going upwards, and then how I'm going to kind of like swoop and connect that. So that is essentially going to be my outline. Now I'm checking to see how I like it or don't like it head on. And the nice thing about doing this with eyeshadow is that you can easily wipe it away. So I can just take this sponge that I use to blend out my eye primer and tap on top of it. This allows you to easily clear it up without going into something more difficult to remove, like a liquid liner or something that is more opaque. So I'm using my close-up mirror, my mirror at a distance to see if it's even, if I'm happy with the shape. And that's the most difficult part, is just guiding this out. So you can see here, I was not happy with that side and I wasn't happy with how it was swooping up. So I just took my brush and the leftover primer and just patted right on top of that. I decided to just hold off on bringing that in, having that swoop there. So I'm just going to focus on shadow now. And I'm using this really bright yellow shadow. And I'm just tapping and patting it on, like little dabs. And I'm not tapping too much of the excess off because I really want to get as much pigment on there as possible. And I love that this is more of like an abstract artsy look, because you don't have to be perfect with your placement, with your blending, and the whole point of it is to look a little bit splotchy. So it doesn't have to be completely even, completely airbrushed. That is the fun of this kind of makeup, and I enjoy creating this so much. I was actually having a really bad day. I filmed this at the start of Vlogmas, and if you have been here since day one, you know that we had a death in the family. So I was having a really hard day. I was crying a lot, and I didn't want to cry anymore, and I just wanted to get in a better mood, listen to some music, and do some makeup, and that always seems to do the trick for me. Now here I am taking a very silvery shimmer and putting that in the middle of my lid and on top of the yellow, overlapping, and I'm going to be overlapping with a violet or with a lavender shimmer in the outer corner that you'll see in just a second. And again, I love this. You're just dabbing it on with your finger. You don't have to be precise. I'm trying to keep it in the wing area with the lavender color. I really wanted to pull myself out of this rut, and I figure if I'm doing my makeup, then I can't cry, and it gives me something to focus on and concentrate on instead of my sad feelings. And sometimes it's fine to feel sad and release it, but if you're just going to continue spiraling, I kind of put a pause on that and see how I can kind of redirect my energy to pull me out of the dark place that I'm starting to go to. And sitting down and creating with makeup or with painting or just doing a coloring book are all things that I personally love to do. So let me know in the comments, what do you love to do to pull yourself out of a rut? What is something that you like to use as a distraction? The lavender shimmer I was using was a little too iridescent for me. It wasn't packing the punch like I wanted it to. I didn't want this to be a super bright, colorful look, so I took a more lavender pink shade, and I'm kind of putting it on top of the shimmer, but then I'm going to put more shimmer on top of that. This is just, you know, what I like to do. I like to sit down and experiment, and I don't always get everything right on the first try, and it's just part of the creative process, and just figuring out what your next move is, what colors you're working with, how they're going to appear, how we're building the shape in the outer corner, and I love putting my mind to a task like that. I'm also apologizing for not sharing what specific palettes that I'm using. I think I use like 7 different eyeshadow palettes, so I'm just kind of talking you through the colors and the process here. Now I'm going in with a dark purple eyeshadow to create this liner, and just kind of slowly tapping, slowly outlining very faintly, just to get an idea of where things are going, to make sure that it's where I want it to be before we really lay down the groundwork. So here I am kind of creating that outward swoop shape, and I'm just going to work on building up the thickness of this liner. This is a super thin brush. This is the KVD number 70. And I love working with this for outlining liner because it is so thin and precise, and I can easily build up. So here I am taking the purple and just kind of lightly blending it up to where I get into that yellow point. And now I'm going back in with the same brush I used for my primer to clean up around that wing area to make sure I don't have any purple eyeshadow above where I'm creating this graphic liner. Easily you can go in with a makeup wipe and wipe away the extended smudge there. That is why I love doing my eye makeup first instead of doing my face makeup, because my eyes are always my main focus. So if I mess something up, I don't have to worry about, you know, I spent 10 minutes doing my base makeup and now I have to redo it or wipe something off and I mess something up or I get a lot of fallout. So I just prefer to do my eye makeup first. Let me know in the comments, do you do your base makeup first or do you do your eye makeup first? So here I am taking an even darker purple shadow and just thickening this up so it's like a nice thick dark liner. You don't always need to have, you know, various colors of different eyeliners. Eyeshadow works perfectly well for looks like this. If you're on a budget, use what you have, and I love being resourceful with eyeshadow when it comes to more graphic eyeliner looks. You're getting to play around and experiment with me, so this was an interesting choice. I tried using this NYX neon liner. It wasn't giving me what I wanted because I really wanted to have like a super defined, highly pigmented yellow eyeliner on my lower lash line and kind of create a double wing. You'll see this as the video goes on, but I feel like I honestly would have been better off using my NYX jumbo pencil in the shade Milk, and that is a white creamy base, because all I'm doing is stacking more yellow eyeshadow on top of it, and the eyeliner didn't really give it anything to stick to. So looking back, I should have used my white base instead, my white cream base instead. But yeah, you can see I'm like really trying to pack the yellow onto the lower lash line. I found a little bit more of a darker yellow, kind of like a sunflower marigold type color, to kind of act as like the darker depth part of the lower lash line by my, you know, where my lash line is. So we do have some depth and dimension down there, and you can see I'm tapping along with my brush, kind of how that bottom wing is showing up. It's super subtle, and you can definitely notice it more once I get my base makeup on, because I think the redness of my face is just distracting from it, and it's just not as noticeable, and it'll be more noticeable later once I have the foundation and concealer on. And just like that, the base makeup is on and we are doing the finishing touches to the eyes. I'm using a felt tip liner, and you can see I am making this the thinnest line possible. And I always do this with my makeup looks with either black or brown, and I literally drag it on top of my lashes. Like that's how close I'm getting, because I want to have that definition to help make my lashes stand out more when I put mascara on. But I don't want to take away from the purple liner, but that does give us a little bit more depth and dimension to the look. Personally, I feel like I don't have the best eye shape because like my inner corner folds in differently. For this cat eye, I know it has had different names over the years, but I'm trying my best to have a little bit of that point. So I'm taking the lighter purple, what I used to map out that original wing, because I don't want it to be too dark and too distracting, especially because my inner corner waters a lot. So I'm just kind of trying my best to create that little triangle shape on the inner corner with my super thin brush. And I didn't really bother with connecting it to my upper lash line per se. I just kind of did it right in the middle between my lower lash line and upper lash line, if that makes sense, but it looks like it's all connected. For my lips, I did use my Morphe lip liner in the shade Love Bite to outline, and this is the Lunar Beauty liquid lip in the shade Perfection, I think is what it's called. It's the perfect nude. So I decided to go full out glam with my lips. Normally I'm a lip balm or a lip gloss kind of girl and call it a day, but I was like, no, I really want to go all out with the lip liner and actual lipstick color with a gloss on top, because this graphic eyeliner moment deserves that. So I'm going to give this a minute to dry down and then add some gloss and finish up the look. I'm using another Lunar Beauty product. I really have been enjoying the products from this brand. I think this is called Strawberry Dream. It's a pink gloss with like some silver reflect in it. And this is what everything looks like put together. I threw on some Ardell Wispy lashes and I am just obsessed with this whole look. Doing my hair just like really transformed it for me. I wasn't, crying my eyes out anymore. I actually feel like I was able to accomplish a very creative look and pull myself out of a rut. So let me know again in the comments, what do you like to do to pull yourself out of a rut? Or if you're having a little bit of a hard time, what do you do to pull yourself out of it? Do you do something creative? Do you do something mindful? Are you going for a walk? Let me know in the comments so we can all share and help each other out. I hope you enjoyed this. I really loved putting this graphic liner and bright colored look together for you. I really hope you enjoyed it because I had a blast creating it. As always, thank you so much for your time and energy in this video. Be sure to subscribe, check out the description box for the Vlogmas playlist, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.